All right. So this is Small Time Game Time, presenting everything football, and I am your host. I would like to say, Sheeraz, and my evergreen pundits are Nahmaan Rashid and Awais Ahmed. Hi guys, thanks for attending this Hangouts group on air chat thingy bob thing that we're doing. So let's start off with the first game, which was Newcastle versus Liverpool. The score finished 1-0 to the Newcastle. Naman, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Liverpool were poor. They were shocking. I mean, they were making stupid mistakes, and Newcastle could have won. By the end of the game, could have been 3 or 4.
Mm.
They missed a lot of chances. Cabal's one was it was through on goal, no one on him. Keeper done a good save. It was seriously, it could have been onslaught.
It looks like as well they pressed them really high up. They were well up for it, and obviously after all the criticism that Alan Pardew's got, he got his team quite ready to play Brendan Rodgers' side. This has been I would say a shocking season for Liverpool considering how well they were last season. Would you say they played above themselves always last year anyway?
I think they did. I think last year was a case of they basically what they done last year is they done more. I reckon they done more than they actually should have, if that makes sense. By that, what I mean is there's certain seasons team have where they outperform the level of the team that they have. Last year, I think it was a few players outperformed. Sturridge was really well. He was on form. Suarez, I mean, he was just world class last year, and obviously that's evident without him that they're struggling. Now they don't have Sturridge in strike now. Obviously they don't have Suarez, and then they got Balotelli, who's not really performing. Is the kindest way to say. I mean, they are struggling. I mean, they're struggling in the Champions League. They're struggling in any cup competition they're in. The league's not looking good for them. I mean,
I'm glad you actually mentioned Champions League because they weren't in any competition last year, so they had a simple, fair run to go through the Premiership. Now they've got those extra added games. You can tell. I mean, look, they're struggling. Look what he did against Real Madrid. I mean, fielded such a weak team, and that's it. That's what they're gonna have to do if they're gonna be playing week in, week out, twice a week. They're gonna struggle. Last year they didn't have to do that. Now they have to. So it's gonna obviously.
Yeah, that's going to have a knock-on effect, obviously, on the Premier League, given the squad is stretched in terms of being able to accommodate 2 to 3 games a week. I mean, they are going to feel the effects because obviously they're not being used to that for a good few seasons now. I mean,
well, I guess it's evident that they're going to need a bigger squad. But let's move to Ayose, who scored the first goal, well, the first and only goal. And Lovren, I have to say, has been shocking. 20 million, was he a £20 million signing?
Yeah, I think it was 20 million or 25. I don't remember.
And I understand giving time to a defender, but he is doing the basics completely wrong. So yeah, he's been a shocking signing. There were massive problems for Liverpool last season in defence. I mean, going forward, they were really good, obviously with Suarez and Sterling and Sturridge. And, you'd think that Brendan Rodgers would improve that back line, and I'll be honest with you, the likes of the Skirtles, that Sacco and Lovren are absolute bang on average, and I'm surprised he hasn't strengthened more. Do you think he should have? Do you guys think that he should have invested more in his defense and made a real try to build a good foundation?
Yeah, I mean like Fergie said, I mean goals will win you games, but a solid defense will win you the title. So he just basically spunked the 70 million that he got from Suarez on attacking players, and a lot of them he didn't really need.
average attacking players, I might say as well.
Yeah, what you got to understand is obviously losing Suarez was a big blow. So I think he was more concentrating on trying to cover that up. But
but the thing is, if you lose Suarez, who's an attacking player, and you're not going to replace him with someone that's a like-to-like fix, shouldn't you want to shore up the defense so you don't leak in the goals and maybe sneak a 1 or 2-0?
Yeah, of course, I agree with that. Obviously, he wasn't thinking on the same wavelength as you, Nahmaan.
But anyway, yes.
I should be manager.
Moving on from this, we'll go to our second game, which we'll talk about is going to be the Chelsea and QPR game. The game finished 2-1 to Chelsea, with Hazard and Oscar scoring for Chelsea and Austin scoring for QPR. Awais, well, actually, you know what, guys? Should we talk about Oscar's goal? Because I
God,
absolutely loved it.
oh, it was awesome. One touch outside the boot, and he found it right in the corner off the post. I mean, unreal technique, unreal technique.
So the kid is class. He's a class actor. I see him becoming a very, very, very good player in the future. I think world class. I wouldn't say world class. He's still too young, but he's going along the lines. I mean,
what I like about him is he's one of those. I mean, he's very good. He's a good playmaker.
Got very good composure for his age.
Yeah, but the thing about him is he's so aggressive. He runs non-stop. He can be a central midfielder. I mean, the way I say it, he can be like up and down all day. I mean, he can throw himself in challenges. He can shoot. He can pass. He's quite tall, so he's good in the air. You know, I mean, I reckon.
And he's got a lot of time to develop still as well.
Yeah. One thing I really like about him, that he's willing to track back, and it gives reason to why Mourinho decided to keep him and get rid of Mata. You know, Mata also a quality player, just defensively lacks, and you know, Oscar's more, you know, he'll get stuck in a lot more than Mata does, and it shows evidence. He does run, you know, he does put in the mileage.
He does remind me more of a European player than a Brazilian player, which says a lot, considering, you know, Brazilian players, you know, you liken him to the fact of Ronaldinho or Ronaldo. Oscar's different, and you know what? He's what they need.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Fabregas gets another assist, and Hazard scores another penalty. And again, you know, is Hazard ever going to miss a penalty in the league?
Until he gets a penalty against David De Gea, he won't miss.
All right. Well, moving on. I mean, Mourinho mentioned at the end of the game that he wasn't happy with his team's performance. And he also mentioned that the crowd at Stamford Bridge were shocking. So, what's your take on that, guys?
Yeah. Well, go on, Awais, go.
Yeah, well, I think QPR did play well, but then obviously Chelsea wasn't the formidable force that we've seen from this season, and they haven't been like that for the last few games. You know, against United, they let United back in the game with 10 men. You know, also in the midweek Champions League game, they weren't the usual best, if that makes sense. I mean, they are lacking, and I think Mourinho did put it down to the congestion in their Premier League fixture.
I don't know. I don't. I think in terms of letting United in, I think that was more of the fact that he was trying to obviously see the game out.
He always has that at Old Trafford.
Yeah, but he's done that in the big games. But I mean, it works for him, so you can't really count it against him. Yeah, he dropped a couple of points, but I think if you look at it in regularity, he seems to pick up the points more often than not.
What it is with Chelsea is the fact that Costa is not fully fit is what's making the difference, I reckon, anyway. Because with Oscar, they have the defense of the other team have someone they can focus on, and you know he's going to cause them problems. When they're going forward, they're going to be focusing on him, not everyone else.
You mean Costa?
Yeah, that's what I said, Costa.
Oh, right, cool. Anyway, moving on. You know, still Chelsea favourites for the title?
Yeah.
Cool. I thought as much.
Yeah, because a team that's not performing to their top level is still
keep winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sign of champions, isn't it? Moving on, 3-0 to the Arsenal against Burnley. Chambers and Sanchez grabbing a brace. Boyd scoring. Actually, no. Sorry. What was I saying? Sanchez is another player that I've been, you know, really, really impressed with. Start of the season, he was a little bit. Well, I don't know. I kept thinking he kept running into, you know, dead ends and, you know, blank alleys, but he seems to now be hitting the numbers now. And is that 4 goals in his last 2 games he's got now? It does seem like he's turning into the player that Wenger wanted. And yeah, what do you guys think?
To be fair, he came from Barcelona and he had scored, I think it was 17 or 18 goals for them. And now that he's got used to the Premier League, he's just so fast and he's a good finisher, and he's an absolute bulldog. So, I mean...
That piece is really good as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was always going to come good. He was always going to come good.
It looks as though Chambers, you know, might turn out to be a really good signing from Wenger. I mean, I thought he was a good player before Arsenal signed him, but I think under Wenger he may improve quite a bit. Seems quite versatile, playing centre back and right back, and he scored his goal from the right back area. You know, obviously pushing forward. But again, Burnley no real challenge at the Emirates.
Yeah, I think Arsenal defense is suspect. If they posed a bigger threat, they could have got
Yeah,
something out
fair
of the
enough.
game, at least a goal or a point at least. But no, I think Arsenal maintained that game, controlled that game well. Didn't let them back in.
I think
Yeah,
I think we'll
Burnley
move
did
on to
pose a
the
threat.
next game. I think we'll move on to the next game, which was arguably one of the more exciting games of the week, which was actually from probably the two sides you wouldn't expect, Stoke and West Ham. The game finished 2-2 with Moses and Juve scoring first for Stoke, making it 2-0. And then West Ham coming back into the game with Downing and Valencia, making it 2-2. And it was an exciting game. Proper, end-to-end kind of stuff.
End-to-end football, man. Really impressed with Doof. That guy, man, he's bloody strong and quick, and he's causing West Ham all sorts of problems. But for West Ham, Alex Song, man, could be the signing of the season at the way he's playing at the moment. You can tell
Yeah, he's controlling that midfield. Yeah.
his stint at Barcelona has made him so much more composed on the ball. Some of the stuff he was doing, like the 1-2s, the flicks, you could tell he's been training with the best.
I don't know. I personally feel that he was kind of like that with Arsenal anyway, and I think for his career it was a bad move moving to Barcelona. But I guess he'll have a couple of medals to his name, and he won't care too much. But one player I've been really impressed with is Downing. Downing has been having a great season for West Ham, and he highlighted it by getting that late goal and also getting an assist. And I think he's been playing in that number 10 role for them. Like he plays, cutting in a lot more, and he's been so effective there.
Yeah, Downing's not very quick, so you play him on the wing, and you beat the man. He's gonna get closed down quite quickly. So he's using him in the position where he can get into the box and drop it back when he has to. Plus, he's got a sweet leg foot, so he can always play a pass. So he's using him effectively well. Big Sam.
And then Valencia settled in well.
But he's quality. Seriously, he runs all day. He's an absolute animal.
Yeah, I think him and Saka are a brilliant partnership. When they're both fit and
They've
both
got understanding. They've got understandings already, and it's paying dividends for them.
Yeah, they cause the defenders a lot of problems.
Anyway, and we'll probably move on to our final game that we'll talk about today, which was Man City versus United, and the game finished with City winning 1-0. Aguero getting the goal, and United finishing the game with 10 men, and playing pretty much over around an hour's worth with 10 men.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the red card. How do we sum up Smalling's stupidity?
Buffoonery is the word.
New word. Let's go with it.
Buffoonery.
Basically, the second tackle I can understand, yeah? The guy's on the corner and he's gone in and his tackle, yes, straight yellow, fine, no problem. Why would you go and stop the goalkeeper from kicking the ball out? You're a defender, just run back. It didn't make no sense to me. It's so stupid.
It all didn't make
But
sense.
irregardless of that, if you've got a first booking anyway, then the second challenge is stupid. Just hold the man up, wait for the ball. I mean, what was the time when you got sent off? It was what?
36 minutes.
36 minutes, yeah. Now you've got nearly a half and a bit more to play. Your team, yeah, you left them in the crap of it, basically getting sent off. But two stupid bookings, two absolutely stupid bookings.
Yeah, I mean, if I was LVG, I would just bench him for a few games. But unfortunately, the position that Man United are in is we can't actually drop a defender because we don't have any defenders, so we have to play them.
But he won't be playing next game.
Smalling's now what, 24, 25? Is he someone that United should still look to invest in or offload? Is my question. I mean,
but the thing is, if you look around, there's not a lot of good defenders. And having said that, defensively, out of the centre backs that we have, Evans, Jones, Smalling is the one that makes the least amount of mistakes in a defensive sense, where he doesn't have to make the last dish challenge because he always does the first part right. Whereas Jones, he would not do the first part right, but he'd be the one that's making the last ditch challenge. But he'll get most of the plaudits because he makes the last ditch challenge, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Not to get injured.
Smalling reads the game a hell of a lot better. He just had a brain fart that game and just completely lost his cool. I mean, and in a derby, you can't do that. You cannot, and especially against City. And I said from the beginning of the game, I go that even without Silva, Aguero is going to cause us all sorts of problems. And
moving on to Aguero, what a striker, what a goal! A tidy finish, and his movement is always so good to watch. You know, if there's a young striker out there, you got to watch Aguero's movement. He just, even all that pace, you know, he just needs a couple of yards, and you know, just a little clip from his left foot. And saying that, you know, De Gea had a brilliant game and United were lucky to keep it 1-0.
Yeah.
It could have easier been 3-4-5, but De Gea was just outstanding. But you know, even then he couldn't stop that finish from Aguero. Such a tidy finish.
I said it last time. He's the best player in the league.
Best player in the league. Fair enough. I wouldn't argue too much with that. But you know, United have now lost. They lose Smalling for the next game, and now they've lost Rojo for potentially a couple of weeks. I mean, he dislocated his shoulder. I'm not entirely sure how long they've given him, but
Broke his collarbone.
he broke his collarbone. Wow. So Van Gaal isn't getting any luck right now because either his defenders are being stupid or they're getting injured. It looks like McNair's going to end up playing the next league game again.
Yeah, and that kid's been
Is it against Crystal Palace the next game?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be going on Saturday, but I might have to sell my ticket.
Well, never mind. But again, what you call it, it looks like it's going to end up having to play McNair and hope that someone else, one of the senior players, are fit, and might end up being Carrick playing in the centre back role, and he'd probably be hoping that Raphael gets back to fitness. Whereas Man City, on the other hand, you know, are going to look to get momentum from this game. Do you reckon they will start picking up some results now? You know, they've been quite patchy.
Yeah, I think I think they will. I think that's going to give them a confidence boost. I mean, winning a derby is as big as that always does. But yeah, it's their next game is going to be one to watch. You know how that goes. No, how that looks basically, because they should ideally build on this momentum, because this is a very, very big confidence boost. Very, very big confidence boost.
Well, anyway, I'm sure next weekend will bring even more excitement. So we'll leave it here, guys. It was nice talking to you both. Thanks for joining me, and thank you guys for listening. And you know, remember to subscribe, because you know what, we're not all that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not all that popular, so we need, we need to get there.
Well. Anyway, we'll try to stay funny, kind of, maybe. And yeah, subscribe, guys. And thanks for listening.